Good morning, and welcome to our Zoom worship service. We preface our service by acknowledging that the land on which our homes and our church were built was not uninhabited when European settlers arrived here with their ideas of conquest and ownership. For those of us who live in Moscow, Pullman, or other nearby communities, we live on the ancestral homelands of the Nimipu, called Nez Perce by the French-speaking traders, the Palouse, and the Shitshumsh, called the Coeur d'Alene. If you're joining us from another place, I encourage you to discover who inhabited or moved through this place where you now live in the times before colonization and genocide. We pause and remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that was stolen, ground that cries out for justice and for responsible stewardship. May our remembering help us find the courage to do our part to restore wholeness to the earth and all her peoples. And now let's join our voices together for our words of welcome, our unison chalice lighting, and our sung affirmation. Please say these words with me. Whoever you are, wherever you've come from, whatever your beliefs, whomever you love, and however bumpy your life's journey, know that you are welcome here. We're hoping that you have a chalice or a candle you can light and something to light it with. Let's go ahead and do that together.
Hello from the Gibbler family, Marissa, Avi, and Loie. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek and seek to share.
From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung in every land by every tongue.
Today is our annual ingathering service and will include a water blessing. If you signed up for a care package, you'll find a little vial of water. It looks like bubble stuff that we collected as part of our in-person water communions. You'll want to have that handy for later in the service. And if you didn't sign up, I'd ask that you take a minute and go get a small container of water to use instead. The great thing about water is that in any given tablespoon, there are molecules from every body of water in the world. So even if it just comes from your tap, it still works as a symbol of the ways we flow together, connected as a community and part of the interdependent web of all life. Today is United Nations World Rivers Day. World Rivers Day is meant to be a celebration of the world's waterways that highlights the many values of our rivers, strives to increase public awareness, and encourages the improved stewardship of all rivers around the world. We've been using rivers as our inspiration for worship all month long, leading up to today's service, which I hope you will enjoy. Let's begin by singing together, Touch the Earth.
Touch the earth, reach the sky, walk on shores while spirits fly, over the ocean, over the land, our faith, our quest to understand. Touch the earth, reach the sky, children ask the reasons why, in our lives the answers show, and by our love they learn and grow. Touch the earth, reach the sky, all are born and all shall die. Life's the time left in between, to follow a star, to build a dream. Touch the earth, reach the sky, hug the laughter, feel the cry. spirits joining as we fly to touch the earth, to reach the sky.
And now I'd invite you into a time of meditation or prayer. I grew up in Plymouth, New Hampshire, and the first river that was mine was the Pemigewasset, which ran through town. I remember throwing sticks into the water from a rocky bank. I remember looking way, way down on a deep and fast-moving section from a green metal bridge that connected the west part of town to the east part. I remember swimming in a swimming hole on a hot spring day after track practice, the way the cold water made my bones ache. Since then, I've befriended many rivers in my life. As a teenager, I rafted in the Saco and slid down the natural water slides in the Swift River just off the Kankamangas Highway. When my boys were toddlers, we lived across the street from the Mystic River, and we had this old 14-foot aluminum canoe that we would literally just carry from our garage to the put-in. Here on the Palouse, our rivers include the Clearwater, the Snake, the St. Joe, the Lochsa, the Potlatch, the Grand Ronde. Who am I forgetting? I would venture a guess that we all have rivers. We all have river stories. We all have river memories. I invite you to let those memories flow gently into your awareness. I'd invite you to welcome them as sacred, as messengers. What have rivers blessed you with? What have they taught you? And what do they have to teach you here and now?
There's nothing like the sound of a river rolling down from higher elevation, through forests and canyons, on its way down to the ocean, its primal destination. And when it gets down to the sea, it returns to the sky by the sun's evaporation, and it makes the transformation into clouds and precipitation, and returns to earth as rain. There's nothing like the sound of a river rolling down, nothing like the setting sun when the day is done. And when the rain comes down, it waters the land by nature's command, into rocks and sand, and soil which is fertile, and we work with our hands, just like the whole thing was planned. There's nothing quite the same as rivers and rain, nothing like the setting sun when the day is done. There's nothing quite the same as rivers and rain, rivers and rain, rivers and rain.
When I was last looking for work, looking for a job and search for a congregation, way back in 2012, I had this really intense dream about a river. I was in a canoe, and in the way of dreams, I knew I had just finished navigating first a patch of rough water and then a stretch with a lot of sandbars. In front of me was a bend, and as I rounded it, the water shifted to be just the kind I like best, deep and fast flowing, not too many rocks, with beautiful scenery on either side. When I wrote about the dream in my dream journal and then worked with it a little, the symbolism was really obvious. The river was my professional life. The class 3 rapids were the congregation I served previously, which weathered quite a bit of serious conflict. If you ever wonder why I'm so reluctant to change the liturgy, and in particular to mess around with joys and sorrows, now you know. The shallow water represented the 2 years I spent working on my doctorate and serving a small congregation very, very part-time. It was navigable, but I hadn't been able to develop the kind of relationships I value most, ongoing and deep. And around the bend, this ministry here at the UU Church of the Palouse, which has been exactly the kind of ministry I love best, full and rich and vital, with beautiful scenery all around. But in the way of dreams, as I continued to reflect, it took me down through some layers to the realization that it was also about my relationship with life itself. The rapids also represented the bumpy years when I was angry at the universe and angry about the trauma and the suffering I'd experienced and the trauma and suffering in the world. The part of the river with all the sandbars represented the dry years when my kids were little and I struggled with depression. For many of those years, I felt like I was just limping along, picking my way through with just enough movement and personal and spiritual growth to keep from getting stuck. The dream was offering me an invitation to go deeper. I wrote in my journal, what will happen if I let spirit carry me? If I release control and let the current take me where it will? Am I capable of just going with the flow? Jungian analyst Brian Collinson writes, the river as symbol embodies the flow of life, the teleology, as Jungian therapy says, or goal-directedness of the psyche. That word, teleology, comes from the Greek, telos, which means end or aim. Teleology is the philosophical term then for the sorts of wonderings and explorations that have to do with where are we going? Why are we here? What is the meaning of life? You know, those sorts of questions that you love to see on tests because they have such short, easy answers. Speaking of short, easy answers, remember during the meditation when I invited you to allow stories about or memories of rivers to come to your mind? I'm curious, what came up for you? What were the names of the rivers you imagined? Go ahead and type them in the chat. We have the Escalante, the Desagre, the Columbia, the Selway, Henry's Fork of the Snake River, the Salmon, Skykomish, Little Bighorn River, the Cold Red River, the Turana River, the Uramba River in Peru, the Russian River in California, the Grand Ronde, the Loxa, the Salmon and the Mississippi, Gales Creek River, the Platte, the Chute, the Feather, Wailula, the Grand Ronde, the Bitterroot, the Selway, St. Joe, the Hudson, the Snake. Next question, in no more than 3 words, describe the water of the river at the time and place you imagined. So what was it like? Was it turbulent? Was it peaceful? Were there waterfalls or rocks? Calming, slow, green, warm, sunny, deep, cold, alive, peaceful, crisp, clear, cold, rocky, pellucid, gentle, warm, sunny, quiet, peaceful, flowing, calm, wide, slow, sparkling, splashing, rocky, cold, fast, sparkling, clear, rapid, big eddy, clear rocks reflecting sun, deep and fast, noisy, awesome rocks, fast and cold. Last one. I asked what lesson the river had or has to teach you. You can have a whole sentence to answer this one. What did the river have to teach you or have to teach you? What does it have to teach you? Be calm, live in this moment. Roll on, respect and calm, slow down, let it go, life flows on. The fragility of life. Mistakes are chances to change, leading to something bigger. It goes on long, long before me and after me. Life can be gentle at times and raging at others. We're all connected through flow of water. It's okay to let yourself be carried. Wear your life jacket. Respect the ebb and flow. Keep on keeping on. Wild rivers open our souls to flow. So in years past, when we do water communion, we always have this kind of participatory element where you get to write things down, remember? So what we will do is we're going to save this chat so you can keep putting things in, and we will send it and publish it in our next newsletter. The river is life. The river is love. The river is you and me and us and all of us together. We can trust the river to carry us along, to make a way out of no way, to get us all someday, somehow, to the sea. So be it, and so may it be.
River rushing down the mountainside, river racing with the breeze, lead me through the forest and the trees.
River rolling on a rocky bed, river running round the bend. Take me to a quiet journey's end.
River, run me to the ocean, river, take me to the sea, river, show me to a distant shore, river, run, set my spirit free. River roaring through a craggy glen, river rushing to the tide, you will be my refuge and my guide. River reaching out for many miles, though the journey will be long, grant the will and courage to be strong. River, run me to the ocean, river, take me to the sea, river, show me to a distant shore, river, run, set my spirit free. Even in the darkness, even in the night, lead me through the shadows to the morning light. River, run me to the ocean, river, take me to the sea, river, show me to a distant shore, river, run, river, run, river, run, my spirit free.
River rushing down the mountainside,
Deep river,
river rushing down the mountainside.
deep river, free.
There's a river that flows through us. made of our experiences and the meaning we create in response to those experiences. From the moment we are born, we begin to explore the world, attempting to understand who we are, what we are meant to do, where we are going, and why we exist. We make choices, some good and wise, some a little less so, but all right, necessary to our process of becoming. For some parts of our life, we journey alone, giving ourselves the space to discern our unique contributions to the world. More often, it serves us to flow together, giving and taking, teaching and learning, accompanying one another as we find our way. Our communities create containers that hold us in love and acceptance. Together, we're better able to find resilience in the face of suffering and difficulty. We're better able to clarify our deep values and move in the world in ways that support justice and promote kindness. There are times of rough water. Our planet needs us to change our way of life. If we can't find our way, can't undo the damage that's been done, everything good and beautiful is at risk. So today, and every day, as we flow through life, let us pray. May courage fill our hearts that we might greet the unknown future with hope. May goodness rain down on us and fill us with gratitude, and her sister, joy. May the song of the river and the songs of our lives remind us to keep flowing, keep moving, keep changing and becoming. May the song of the river and the songs of our lives fill our hearts until we reach the sea. So what we just saw was footage from the in-person water communion services when we gathered the water. And that water that was gathered, once it's been filtered and boiled and sterilized, because otherwise it grows green things, is what you received if you received a little vial in your package.
And so if you have your little vial, it's time to take it out. And if you don't have one, it's time to get water from your tap. And as we know, all water is connected. And so really, we all have some shared water here with us. And we're going to start our participatory water blessing.
So let's begin by just holding our container of water in our hands. So our little vial, or if you have a glass or something, just cup it in your hands. If there's more than one person participating in your home, I'd invite you to pass it around. Feel the shape and the temperature, and imagine the water flowing into the bowl, filled with the love of this gathered community, affirming the interconnectedness of all life. Bless this water and let it become something precious, something sacred, a gift from the community and from the universe to you.
Now, when you're ready, pour just a little drop onto your hands. Don't pour it all at once because we have a few things to do. Oh,
I'm
And
going to use
then-
the like bubble wand and just kind of dab it.
that's a lot better because mine now I don't know where to put this down. There we go. Rub your hands together and then gently bring them up to your head. As our hands rest here atop the skin, the hair, the bones that protect our brain, let us dedicate our thoughts to all that which promotes life.
On the days when fear or irritation or frustration pull us away from the person we want to be, may the love of this community and the goodness of the world help us remember to speak and act with integrity, care, and courage.
So now we need a little bit more water in our hands and rub them together. And now lay them on your belly. This is the home of our intuitions and our emotions. For those of us who have uteruses, it's also the place where life begins. Breathe deeply into your belly and feel your hands rise and fall.
In the moments when grief or anxiety try to steal our breath away, may the love of this community and the goodness of the world help us remember that we are strong and resilient. May we remember that even though we may have to face loss and calamity, we are never alone in our struggles.
One last pour. And rub them together. And lay them on your heart. Feel the gentle pulse of the muscle that pumps blood through your whole body. This is where the still small voice whispers, where our spirit lives.
In the moments when we feel alone or ugly, flawed or broken, may the love of this community and the goodness of the world help us remember that each one of us is precious and beautiful and perfect in our imperfection. May we rest in the knowledge that we are enough, that we're not meant to be anyone but the exact person we happen to be in this moment. May we know ourselves held in a love that holds all that we love. So much love.
Mind, heart, spirit. We are with you. You are with us.
Mind, heart, and spirit. With all that we are here for you. We are here for one another.
So be it.
And blessed be. Let's sing together. I think this is my favorite hymn, Blue Boat Home.
Oh, below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life I would now like to share some closing words from Khalil Gibran. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages, and in front of her she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear, because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean.
Let's say together now the words to embody the flame. We extinguish this chalice that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light our paths as we leave this place. May it guide our way until we are together again. Beloveds, may your lives flow with the river. May you know yourselves held in love, supported by this community. May you be filled with peace, and may you move through the world with courage and integrity. I love you.